Good evening, everyone. Once again, this is Fendleton, former butler to the great Mr. Worthington III, who turns out is an amateur sleuth. I was present during one of his earlier cases, the mysterious death of Madame Marcardi. Tonight, we enter into the home stretch. Yes, halfway there, only 3 more episodes to go. Once again, if you can't make comments to ask questions, you can email us at clues@chapelstreetplayers.org. And we did get a question over email, and I'll be reviewing that later on. We'll post it thanks to the creativity of one of the producers of this show, B&P Studios. We will make sure to show that comment, that question, and get it answered for our viewer. So last night we left off that Madame Marcardi was in the old sewing room, now a guest room. We did get a question late last night, which was, when I took Madame Marcardi her tea, was she wearing her black cloak? I had mentioned that she was sitting at the table reviewing her tarot cards and seemed stressed. And the answer to that question is yes. When I brought Madame Marcardi her tea, she was indeed wearing her big black cloak and hood. All right. Meanwhile, the guests had sat to dinner at the dining room, and the first course was a pepper and squash soup. I have to admit, I questioned Jenny's abilities during the appetizers or hors d'oeuvres, but that soup, I had a taste for myself, was pretty good. So we pick up where we left off. Jenny and I were cleaning up the soup bowls as this conversation occurred. Enjoy.
Frederick, here I was worried that I would be missing Nori's exquisite culinary skills tonight, but Jenny's squash and pepper soup was beyond words.
Well, my friend, I am so glad your cynicism has been abated.
Or maybe I was just hungry.
Nothing like warm soup on a cold, stormy evening.
Yeah. At least for now, it seems the rain has stopped.
I wonder if Jenny would be willing to share the recipe with me. Most evenings I'm alone for dinner and prefer a nice bowl of soup and a petite salad.
Well, I can certainly ask her.
I thoroughly enjoyed that soup, but if I show up at home with the recipe, my wife might think I am judging her cooking.
Good thinking.
So what's next on the menu?
I believe we will have a special amuse-bouche.
Amuse who?
It's similar to an hors d'oeuvre. It's often a single serving of one of the chef's specialties.
Oh, yeah, of course.
It is just so unfortunate that Madame Marcardi can't be enjoying this.
Well, if you would excuse me for a moment.
So yes, the Admiral left the table. This was shortly before, perhaps 6:45. Then Jenny and we laid out the second course, which, as you heard from Mr. W, was her amuse-bouche. Everyone waited patiently and politely for the Admiral to return. But as some time had passed, Mr. W suggested that they dive in.
Delightful, delightful.
Indeed.
Excuse me for interrupting.
Oh, not at all.
Oh my God, Jenny, the amusing bush was so good.
Well, thank you. And again, I apologize for interrupting, but Senator Pratt, you have a phone call. They said it was urgent.
Oh, 7:15. That would be the results from... I'm sorry, Frederick. Everyone, I gave my assistant this number.
Oh, not at all. Politician's day is never over, is it?
I remember the Viscount never got through dinner or his ritual nap when he was in Parliament.
Is there a place I can take it in private?
You can use the phone in the kitchen. It's the closest.
But Jenny.
No, it is the closest, and the senator will have privacy as I'll be in the serving pantry finishing the salad. Senator, if you will follow me, please.
It sounds fine. And I can have a peek at dinner, eh? Thank you, Genevieve.
So indeed, Jenny escorted the senator to his phone call. Meanwhile, I started putting out the salads, which was the next course, and suddenly the Admiral appeared, looking rather flushed.
What did I miss?
Nothing yet. Fendleton left a plate for you. You have to try it.
What?
Jenny's amazing bush.
Ah, I see.
Oh my.
Frederick, why did the senator refer to Jenny as Genevieve?
It's her first name, actually, but she goes by Jenny.
I see.
Oh, Jenny is so much better. Genevieve sounds like an old broad. Don't you agree, Freddie?
What do you have to say about that, old friend?
So after the amusing bush, as Alexis refers to it, was cleared, we put out the salad. They waited for the senator to return before eating, and he got there about 15 minutes after his phone call. It was about 7:30. And so the guests ate their salad rather quickly. And then there was a scream, a shocking scream from the kitchen. Mr. W jumped from the table and went to examine while I tried to calm the guests in the dining room.
Oh my, Jenny, that is a nasty burn. Perhaps the Admiral should have a look at it. He's had medical training.
No, please. I don't want to inconvenience anyone. I hate to admit it, but I do it all the time. I'm the clumsiest chef. I just think if I should just get some gauze.
Of course. We can go upstairs to the guest bathroom. It is well stocked for such emergencies.
No. I know where it is. You go back to your guests, and seriously, I'll be fine.
Perhaps Fendleton should finish the dinner with your arm being compromised.
Well, luckily I'm left-handed, so we should be fine, and the dinner will be fine.
My dear, your meal thus far has been beyond fine. You take your time. I prefer nice conversation between courses and not rushing a meal.
Well, thank you, sir, and I won't be long.
Not at all.
So indeed, Jenny went upstairs to take care of her arm, the nasty burn on her arm. Someone last night asked what was the accident that Jenny suffered from. And indeed, I promised it would be shown tonight. So she scolded her right arm rather badly and needed to wrap it before she could continue serving. As Mr. W says, he prefers good dinner conversation and not rushing the meal. So I did not serve the main course, the main entree. Instead, the guests were entertained not by Madame Marcardi, instead by the delightful actress Alexis Dupree.
I know the whole left on the steps of a church thing sounds so cliche, but every word of it is true.
And you never knew your mother at all?
No, all I have is this picture that was left with me. I carry it around with me all the time.
The picture you gave to Madame Marcardi?
That she then promptly almost threw back at me.
Perhaps you had a vision of your mother, and it was not a good one.
And perhaps you could ask her for yourself. Madame McCarty just strutted by, heading to the parlor.
What? Madame Marcardi?
Maybe she's in a trance.
I should check on her. Fendleton!
Leave it alone, Frederick. She's a woman who makes up her own mind. Trust me.
So, Miss Dupree, if you don't mind me asking, is that even your real name?
Well, of course not. Alexis Dupree is my stage name. I was given a last name by the church, which was ridiculous. Only my real first name. Well, I suppose it was, because it was written on the picture.
And will you share with us?
Oh, sure. It's,
Madam Marcardi.
What?
The madam. Now she's heading back upstairs. Rude not to say anything.
Odd indeed.
You can say that again.
Maybe you've had enough brandy for now. Where is Fendleton? I'll just have a look.
But before Mr. W could get too far, Jenny had returned from bandaging her arm, and all was well. Let's have a look.
Very good, Madam Marcardi. I'll let them know.
Oh, thank goodness. Jenny is attending to her.
The main course is on its way, everyone. I am terribly sorry.
No worries.
No. How is your arm?
I'm fine, sir. Thank you for asking.
Oh, you're sure you're fine?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I believe Fendleton is already ready in the main course.
Of course.
And was Madame Marcardi all right?
Yes. She said she had to retrieve something she left in the parlor, and she said she'll join you for dessert.
Splendid!
Is it?
Do go on, Miss Dupree. You're certainly turning out to be more entertaining than the madam.
really?
Oh, in so many ways.
So Alexis got to continue her story just for a bit longer, as Jenny and I finally served the main course of filet mignon. So pay attention now. As the guests were eating the main course, there was something that happened. Right after the filet was served, the actress, Alexis Dupree, asked to be excused to use, of all things, the head. And so I pointed her in the right direction to go upstairs. She returned about maybe 10 minutes later. And then the guests finished their filet mignon. Then we served dessert at approximately about 8:30. When dessert was served, the Countess complained of a headache, and she went upstairs to fetch some medicine from her own room. And she returned. Dessert was laid out on the table, and Mr. W got concerned because he believed that the madam was going to be joining us for dessert. So it got to be almost 9 o'clock when Mr. W asked me to go check on the madam. And the rest, as you know, is history. History that we showed out of order. We started the first episode with the scene of the crime, and we have repeated it since. Tonight, for the first time, you will now see it in the order in which it occurred. So, filet mignon, and then dessert laid out, and then I was sent to see if the madam was joining us. I found her dead, and I summoned Mr. W, who brought the Admiral with him, to the scene of the crime. Let's have a look.
So, my friend, you're the medical expert. What is your opinion?
Was a medical expert for 10 years.
Come on, it's like riding a bike.
I haven't done that in decades either. But it appears she was stabbed in the back with the knife you see on the floor.
Indeed.
The wound is deep. Maybe a strong arm. From an angle, I would say the killer is right-handed. From the point of entry, I suspect it punctured her lung, and it was a rather agonizing demise. I believe she was at the table, reading her tarot cards, stabbed from behind, and then fell to the floor. Wait a moment. She's not wearing her black cloak.
I think you'll be entering the Tour de France very soon. Your expertise has not waned.
France, please. And adieu. While I examined the body, I couldn't help but notice that you were up to your usual sleuthing skills.
Oh, yes. And there is quite a lot to take in. One, the madam's broken watch, smashed as she hit the floor, I suspect, registering the time of death at 8:05 p.m. Or was it? Two, the letter W written in blood on a tarot card and blood on her right index finger. Three, a photo of a mother and an infant that appears to have been slipped under the door. An inscription on the back reads, "To my dearest Gina, I am so sorry. Love your mother, Regina."
Didn't the actress, Alexis, had a similar-sized photo to Madame Marcardi when she was doing her readings?
Yes, but there is one more thing I discovered. 4. A used pipe cleaner on the floor near the body.
A pipe cleaner?
Yes, my friend. But as I am fond of quoting from one of my favorite mystery movies, there are too many clues in this room. So, I think the most vital information might be in the madam's rather large bag that she kept closely to her all evening. Let's examine the contents.
Do you think the contents of the bag reveal anything?
Not clearly, but it is what is not in the bag that intrigues me most. And this W on the tarot card.
Well, perhaps the W was actually an M, and the card shifted when Madame Marcardi fell.
M as in what? Marcardi? And she killed herself when it's physically impossible? No. It was a clumsy attempt to frame the murder on yours truly.
As if you had anything to do with killing her. Well, then again, she was not very entertaining for your night's entertainment.
The framing attempt was pointless, as I never left the dining room tonight except to attend to Jenny's accident, and Madame Marcardi was seen after that. I never left again until Fendleton alerted us to come up here.
Of course.
And the pipe cleaner? You're the only one here who smokes a pipe.
I was never in this room. Perhaps some stranger broke into the house to steal something, and Regina caught him, or her, in the act.
Regina?
Oh, I mean, Madame Marcardi.
Relax, my dear friend. No, it definitely was not an intruder.
Well, what makes you so certain?
The murder weapon, the knife. I recognized it at once. It's one half of an ornate carving set located in the serving pantry just off the dining room. So you see.
No, I don't see. Frankly, I'm more concerned about the pipe cleaner.
The odds of an intruder carrying an antique ornate carving knife with them to commit a robbery are as slim as you actually being responsible for coming into this room, smoking a pipe, killing the madam, and discarding a pipe cleaner on the floor. No, my friend, this knife proves that the murderer is here in this house right now and is one of us.
Dun, 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 dun. I love doing that. So I was standing outside the room. Mr. W and the Admiral came out. Mr. W sent me to fetch the police because when he went to phone the police, don't forget this was the 80s, no cell phones, he discovered that the phone lines were down, probably from the storm. So once again, I was sent to town to fetch the police while Mr. W and the Admiral went back to the dining room to tell the guests what had happened. Pay close attention.
I am sorry to tell you all this, but it seems that Madame Marcardi has been murdered. We found her dead on the floor in the old sitting room where she was resting. Yes, yes, it is quite a tragedy.
How was she murdered?
Stabbed.
How horrible.
So this is real. I mean, you found her dead on the floor in that room, and this is not more just fun and games with the psychic?
I can assure you, Miss Dupree, that this is quite real.
How awful.
You've called the authorities.
Alas, not. The storm has apparently downed the phone lines. Fendleton is literally running into town now to summon them.
Well, I think I'll head out as well.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. We must all remain here until the authorities arrive.
How could we possibly assist? I'm sure this was some sort of burglary gone awry. Crime is becoming so rampant these days in the States. I should return to England.
Perhaps, but for now, no one is going anywhere.
And how is that?
The bridge is washed out.
But the Butler guy is heading to town.
Oh, I said he was literally running. And he is, through the East Woods.
So, some psychic gets killed by an intruder as she sits reading tarot cards. And we're all stuck here. Phone is dead. The bridge is out. This is akin to a movie in which Miss Dupree would star.
Ooh, you think? But who would I play?
The victim with any luck.
I can serve dessert. How about that?
Oh, yes, indeed, dear girl. Brilliant idea.
I fear I've lost my appetite.
Not me. Bring it on. This beats craft services any day.
And so that concludes the scenes for tonight. But I see that some questions have come in, and I will do my best to answer them. Let's have a look. First, the one that was sent earlier today over email from Lisa King. Do we know why the Countess Francesca believes the madam to be a fraud? I don't know what her personal motivation is, thinking that Madame Marcardi is a fraud. Perhaps she just doesn't believe in psychics, or perhaps we know the Admiral had some past history with the madam. Could it be that the Countess had some past experience with the madam as well? That might yet to be determined. Rachel Cole, is there a way to tell if a right-handed person or a left-handed person did the stabbing of Madame Marcardi? Well, we did establish in the scene that according to the Admiral, who has medical background, that she was indeed stabbed by a right-handed person. Rachel Cole again. Mr. W never said she was on the floor, but Alexis said that she was on the floor. How would she have known that? That's very interesting. And I'm not sure how she would know that. I don't recall her saying that myself, but hey, I'm watching it just like you. Are there any more comments or questions? Once again, you can send questions through email. I will show you that before the night is over. There it is, clues@chapelstreetplayers.org. And you can send them and we will post them and answer them to the best of our ability. Let's see, more have come in. How exciting. Raptor Ravello, looks like the Countess has her ring back. Yes? Yeah. I think you're very observant. Perhaps you too are an amateur sleuth. We know the ring wasn't in the bag. We've established that over a couple of episodes. But I think I saw something glimmering on her finger Very astute observation, Raptor Velo. The senator got a call, Rick King. The senator got a call, but the phone was out. It's unclear when the phone was out. When Mr. W went to make his phone call to summon the police, the phone line was indeed out. But we don't know if the phone line was out when the senator received his call, because obviously the senator received his call. It is very convenient that the phone was out and the bridge was out to make sure that all the guests were caught while my employer, Mr. W, set out to solve the crime. Madam M wasn't wearing a watch when she was giving the readings. Well, that's another astute observation. It could have been the watch was hidden by her elaborate costume, or she may have put the watch on later. But there was a watch found on the floor, registering, I believe, 8:05 p.m. Raptor Velo again, do we know that the watch was really hers? We don't know, but I'm going to suggest that it was hers, and that maybe if she wasn't wearing it during the readings, that she was wearing it when she fell from the chair and landed on the floor. Many different possibilities on that one, Raptor Velo, you amateur sleuth. All right, time is running out, so we want to continue tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, the guests are all trapped, and Mr. W and the Admiral set about searching the house for clues. So tomorrow night, you will travel the house with them, and you will see pictures of more clues, and they interrogate some of the guests that are there. So tune in tomorrow night, same CSP time, same CSP Facebook and CSP YouTube. Meanwhile, stay tuned for cast credits, production credits, and a special announcement from the Chapel Street Players. Good night, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Isn't it great to see the Chapel Street Players back in action? We're excited to be keeping the arts alive, albeit virtually, with this latest theatrical performance. I just love seeing good theater, even if, for now, it is in the comfort and safety of my living room. I'm Dr. Renee G. O'Leary, and I've been involved with Chapel Street Players for, well, let's just say a long time. There's always a first for everything, and 2020 is no exception. Like you, I'd love to be back in our little playhouse on Chapel Street, and we look forward to when we can reopen. As always, we couldn't provide live theater on stage or screen without the generous support of the community, or in this case, viewers like you. Our virtual entertainment this fall is being brought to you free. However, we greatly appreciate any contributions you are able to make to help keep Chapel Street Players and the arts alive during these turbulent times. As Chapel Street Players, this is an all-volunteer, nonprofit organization. Donations are tax-deductible in accordance with state and federal laws. Finally, on behalf of Chapel Street's board, volunteers, and patrons, I thank you and wish you all the very best.